Good morning everybody, Auronnj here with another Honkai Star Rail video, and today I'm going to be doing my free-to-play warp guide for this first round of 1.1 banners. Should you pull for Silverwolf? Should you pull on her banner? Should you be saving for Loucha? Should you just be passing on all of it? We're going to hit on that in this video. Now, I think the obvious place to start here is the Silverwolf versus Loucha comparison. It's been said by every content creator, every Discord user, every YouTube commenter out there so far that if you don't have two healers, you should probably save for Loucha. Now, I think there's a little bit more to that conversation. Bailu is permanently in the game, and at some point down the line, you're going to accidentally Bailu, or at some point down the line, a maybe 4-star healer gets added. So I don't think it's as binary of a decision as people are making it. However, there is a lot to be said about if you want to clear Memories of Chaos. Having two healers right now is just crucial to that process, and so if that's the only thing you care about, I think Loucha should just be your target. Especially as a free-to-play player, you're going to be getting some Stellar Jades during this event. You should probably hold off for Lucia's banner. Also, when you're talking about the two character banners, I have to give the nod to his banner in terms of 4-star characters. Every 4-star character on Silverwolf's banner is a free-to-play, freely given out character. Yes, all of them do better with duplicates, and we'll look at that more here in a minute. But with Lucia's banner, you have a brand new 4-star character in there who's imaginary damage type. Most of us, unless we have Welt, do not have imaginary damage type coverage. Even my whale account lacks that type of damage. So that's another nod to Lucia's banner, and as a free-to-play player, I do think there is just a ton of value there. Now, what if you have Bailu? Well, if you have Bailu, I think the math changes altogether, because most of these banners are very top heavy. And what I mean by that is the premium character, the premium Lightcone, like the 5-star thing, is by far and away the best thing on those banners. The exception there has been Jin Yuan with Shu Shang and Ting Yun and March 7th on there. That banner was just insane for free-to-play players. We're probably not going to have another banner like that forever. So I really think you need to be targeting the 5-star thing on the banner as your main goal during 1.1 at least. So Silverwolf versus Loucha. If you're just breaking them down, we could talk a little bit about Silverwolf's kit right here. This will maybe give you an idea if she's somebody who you want, especially if you do have that second healer. One thing to say about Silverwolf, she's single target. She's not going to do you AoE damage, and in fact, she's not here to do a bunch of damage in general. She's here to be debuffing the enemy, implanting bugs on the enemy, and empowering the rest of your group to do damage by adding weakness to the enemy. So her basic attack is just single target, scales up, whatever. It's pretty basic. Her skill, this is the big thing about her kit. So at level 9, at rank 9, which is a place a lot of us can get to right now, there's an 83.75 base chance to add one weakness of an on-field ally's type to the target enemy. This also reduced the enemy's damage resist that weakness by 20%, essentially making the enemy vulnerable to an element type that is not Silverwolf's, that is somebody else's in your group. This is obviously a big deal. If you've pulled like Jin Yuan and he's your main carry, you can put Silverwolf in a group with him, and there's a chance she will put lightning weakness on the boss, or lightning weakness on whoever she's hitting. Now, if he's paired with Asta and Fire MC, you have a little bit of a problem there, because now, well, what if she puts fire weakness on him? What if she puts physical weakness on him? That could be a problem, and so it definitely incentivizes using more than one character of the element you want her debuffing. This means she will pair very, very well with Seela. If you're somebody who pulled for Seela back in the day, and as a free-to-play player, you've recouped some Stellar Jade, I think Silverwolf would be a fantastic option for you, because now you're quantum, right? You're at 2 quantum characters, and that's pretty good. This skill will also do 100% base chance to reduce all type resist of the enemy by about 10% at rank 9 and deal a decent amount of quantum damage. So she is helping all the rest of your team out with this, but she's really, really helping the characters of the element she is giving the weakness of, right? So that's really cool. That's her main thing, and this is one of those skills, much like somebody like Bronya, who her ability to enhance your best damage dealer character makes her almost future-proof. I think Silverwolf is in that same vein. I don't think she's on the same tier as Bronya because Bronya is so straightforward and easy to use. Like, Bronya is like buff your best character and let him just go nuts. There's a little bit more RNG with Silverwolf that's going to be harder to build around, especially if you're a free-to-play player and don't have a huge roster of units built out. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about pulling for Silverwolf. Now, her ultimate user banned. This is something that will be great for everyone in her group. If we were to scale this thing up to about, let's say rank 9 or so, you're looking at a nearly 100% chance to decrease the target's defense by 43, almost 44% for 3 turns and deal a big amount of quantum damage. So she will do a ton of damage with this skill and she will enhance the damage of the rest of your team. No RNG required here, and yes, I know there is a chance that she will inflict this status effect on the enemy, this debuff, but all of her light cone options, including the one that's being given out for free, will essentially help guarantee that she's applying these defense debuffs and, implanting her weaknesses, stuff like that. Now, her talent, this is also a big one. Let's throw this to about rank 9 as well. Silverwolf can create 3 types of bugs. She will either reduce the attack, defense, or speed of an enemy, and every time Silverwolf attacks, she has a 70.5% base chance to implant a random bug that lasts for 3 turns. Now again, her light cones will be amplifying this chance by a lot. She's going to be applying these bugs to enemies, again further debuffing them. This one's a little bit more random, but you could end up helping your allies do more damage, helping your allies become tankier, or just helping everybody out by reducing speed. Silverwolf's kit is very, very good. Like, again, it's when you talk about future proof, we don't know what the game's going to be like in 2 years. That's a little bit of a trap thing to say, and I admit that, but I do think she's a character that will be good on your account for a really, really long time. So when you're talking about pulling Silverwolf or pulling Loucha, if you have 2 healers and you're really just wanting to pull, I think Silverwolf is a fine thing to chase. Remember, if you chase her and miss, like lose a 50-50, or you don't quite get all the way to pity, all of that pity does carry over to the next character you're going after. Always something to remember, so you never really lose. Now, another thing to consider here is the other characters on the banner. How good are the Eidolons for Dan Heng, Serval, and Asta? So all of these characters really do benefit from Eidolons, especially Eidolon 1 is very good on all of them. So like Asta, for example, she gets an extra tick to her skill with Eidolon 1, and the rest of her Eidolons are very good. So the TLDR here is if you use these characters regularly, like if Dan Heng is a main carry for your account, I think that adds a little bit more pulling power to this banner for you, because at least you're going to get like E1 of these characters on your way to Silverwolf. That seems like a fairly safe thing to rely on. Serval's probably the worst E1, but if you manage to somehow get her to E6, her damage goes up by a lot. So the characters on here, yes, they are the free-to-play characters, but they are all good, and so you just have to think, as a free-to-play player who's leaning on 4-star characters, are any of these characters ones that you want to invest in? That was a big thought with Jing Yuan's banner, and Su Shang, Ting Yuan, those were obvious yeses. These are not so much an obvious yes, but still could be good. Okay, let's go talk about the Lightcone banner now. And this Lightcone banner is the ultimate example of a banner being super top heavy. This Lightcone, Incessant Rain, is absolutely crazy good for Silverwolf. It's going to give her the effect hit rate that she needs to do her main job of applying those weakness breaks, of applying those debuffs to the enemy. Also, when the wearer deals damage to an enemy that has 3 or more debuffs, increase the wearer's crit rate by 12%. It might seem like it's hard to get 3 debuffs on a unit, not if you're having Silverwolf in your group. Her ultimate is a defense debuff. She's constantly applying those like debuffing bugs. You have characters like Fire MC, whose taunt is considered a debuff. There are so many easy ways to get 3 debuffs on an enemy. If Silverwolf's in this group, you can count on this extra 12% crit. Also, after the wearer uses their basic attack, skill, or ultimate, so literally anything that does something to the enemy, there is a 100% base chance to implant Aether Code on a random hit target that does not yet have it. Now let's talk about this. Aether Code on a random hit target. This is specifically great for Silverwolf. As a single target damage dealer, she's going to be applying a 12% damage increase to everyone on her team for 1 turn of the enemy. Now, this is a big deal for her and less of a big deal for maybe somebody like Welt. Welt, that randomness is going to hit him. Silverwolf, everything she does is single target. So whoever she's hitting, you can kind of count on that 12%. Here's the kicker with this one. We are all going to be getting this light cone for free, and I believe we're getting superimpose 5 of it for free as well. Now, I can't confirm that superimpose 5, but let's say you're able to get this thing to superimpose 5. If you can, you get an effect hit rate of 40% right here. Compare that to the superimpose 0, 24% effect hit rate of the 5-star Lightcone. You're actually getting more effect hit rate from the 4-star. However, it is definitely not as good as the 5-star Lightcone, because what this does is when the wearer attacks defense reduced enemies, they will regenerate 8 energy. Again, really good for Silverwolf, who can apply that defense reduction through her ultimate. This will help her generate more energy and help her keep their defense down. So it is specifically very good for her, but it becomes less good on some other characters, and it is definitely outshone, in my opinion, by Mirage of Reality. The thing we need to think about here, though, is what about the 4-star Lightcones on this banner? I think this banner is trash. Like, I think the Incessant Reality banner, the Silverwolf 5-star banner, is just no good. So if we go into the databank here, we can check out the other Lightcones. You start with a Hunt Lightcone sub for more. This one, essentially, it encourages your allies to not use their ultimate. And if they're not using their ultimate, if you had a character that only wanted to use basic attacks and skills, this thing's insane. It's crazy good for them because it superimpose 5, which you'll probably get someday. It essentially doubles the damage of their basic attack and skill. 48% base increase, and then if their energy's all the way full up, 48% more. That's nuts. It's really good in that case. But if we go look, let's go look at the characters that are hunt characters right here. Well, let's see. Yan King needs to use his ultimate basically all the time. Shu Shang, yes, her whole combo revolves around her ultimate. If you have Sela, you know she's going to ult all the time. So you end up on Dan right here. Now, we go look at Dan's ult. Like, Dan is the one character of the hunt variety of the hunt class that does not necessarily need to use his ult all the time. Dan is all about using his skill, wind damage, and then on crit there's a 100% base chance to reduce speed by 12%. The ult for Dan is literally just a big chunking move, right? 256% of his attack to a single enemy. If they're slowed, it does even more damage. That's cool, but you could see Dan being somebody who you're just gonna, okay, I'll be a basic attacker and skill user. My problem with that is this. Like, let's go look at these Lightcones again. I just think there's better options. Remember, Dan is somebody that needs to be critting. You have a option like Cruising the Stellar Sea here that's a free-to-play option because it's farmable. This gives crit rate, increases crit rate by 16% and increases crit rate against enemies with less than or equal to 50% HP by 16%. It also has an attack steroid on it. Dan needs to crit. That light cone on the banner does not help him do that. This one would help him do it. Especially, it'll help somebody, I'm bouncing all over these menus, it'll help like somebody like Dan crit, especially if you have his E1, which you're probably going to be able to get off of the Silverwolf banner, because while the light cone I just showed you, the free-to-play 5-star option, gives you that 50% crit with or gives you that crit bonus with sub 50% HP enemies. This one gives you the crit bonus on 50% or greater enemies, essentially covering all range of the enemy's HP. It's a great combo. That's a great light cone for Dan, and I think that makes it better than the 4-star light cone on this banner. And since it's farmable and we're talking free-to-play players, I think that's the better way to go if you're using Dan and that's what you're considering. Now, the next light cone we have is Memories of the Past. This is a Harmony light cone, and this light cone is the Asta special. Now look, if you're an Asta enjoyer and you're building her for maximum break effect, right? Like you want, when she breaks the enemy, you want her doing tons of damage, knocking them down in order and applying a sick burn, then this is the card for you, the light cone for you. I'm going to call them cards forever. Then this is the light cone for you. A 56% increase to break effect is no joke, and break effect on Asta is really, really good. However, I think break effect is a little bit misunderstood. This will not actually help her break anybody. That's not what this does. What this actually does is inflict weakness break on the enemy. So use attacks of the same type to inflict weakness break to deplete toughness. What break effect does not do is help you deplete that toughness meter. Instead, it inflicts weakness break, causing the enemy to take more damage, and in fact it's a big chunk of damage, and delaying their action as well as whatever else the element thing does. So for fire, when you trigger weakness break fire, you will apply burn to the enemy. Weakness break effect from the light cone and from gear will make this burn hit harder. It will make a bigger chunk of damage go off when you inflict the weakness break, and the more effect you have, the farther it will knock down their turn when you break them. Asta is a great character for breaking because her skill just like machine guns off all those hits. She's good at it. It's a great way to build her, and if that's what you want to do, if you play Asta like that, I think that light cone's good. Otherwise, I think there's much better light cone options for the other Harmony characters. Past and future, this has Bronya written all over it, and in fact the only other two Harmony characters are Bronya and Ting Yun. If you have Bronya's 5-star card, that's best for both of them. Carve the Moon, Weave the Stars. This is the Battle Pass one. This is really good and like not situational at all. You can throw that on any of them. And then even for Asta or any of the other ones, if you're running mono element teams, this light cone's great for boosting your team's damage by like 24%. Like that's insane. So I just don't know. This is only really good for Asta in my opinion because the other two characters aren't weakness breaking enough, or that's not the focus of their thing. That's an Asta light cone. So there you go. I don't love that one on there. And then Make the World, what's this one called? Make the World Clamor. This is a Serval picture, and it is a big time Serval light cone. The idea behind this light cone is this. You walk into battle, you get a lot more energy just given to you, and your ult hits really hard. For somebody like Serval, she's going to walk in there, pop her ult, and you're hoping to just farm faster with this. I don't think a light cone that all it's really doing is help you farm faster is something worth going for. Is this good on Serval? Yes, but is there a lot of really good erudition light cones? Also, yes. Birth of Self. For any character that focuses on follow-up attacks, like I'm talking my Jing Yuan uses this because I don't have his 5-star, and this makes his like lightning god's thing. Oh my gosh, it just crushes stuff. Anybody who's follow-up attacks, that's going to be better. Genius's Repose, yeah, this one's not great. Like, okay, it's as good or better than that one, but the Seriousness of Breakfast, this one's really good. You're looking at a 24% damage increase with attack steroid on it. I think that's just generically really useful. Today's Another Peaceful Day. Can we talk about how great this one is? Like, the number on it looks bad. Let's say you get Superimposed 5 of this someday, because it's a 4-star, you'll get that someday. 0.4% damage increase for every point of max energy you have. You don't have to have that energy, it's just your max. So if you have 160 max energy, which again is not many people, you're looking at like a 70-ish% damage increase. If you had 100 energy, you're looking at a 40% flat damage increase across all things. Whereas this card, or this light cone, is giving you 64%, but only on your ult. So I just think, again, there's better options. I'm not impressed with the light cone options on the Silverwolf banner, Silverwolf light cone banner, except for that 5-star. Super top-heavy banner, but if you just get Silverwolf in like one pull, maybe go for the light cone. However, as free-to-play players, I think the free-to-play light cone option is just fine. All right, guys, that's my full breakdown of these banners from that free-to-play perspective. If this helped you out, please like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you all have great luck on your polls. Enjoy 1.1. We've all been waiting for this for a while. Have a good one, everybody. I'll catch you next time. Peace.